Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. Are you stuck in the corporate rat race, worrying about layoffs, and longing to take control of your destiny? This is the place for frustrated executives like you who want to escape the grind, live life on your own terms, and build wealth. Whether you're ready to make a full transition into franchise ownership or want to start building a side business along your corporate job, Pete guides you every step of the way. He'll talk about how to create career and income security, diversify your assets and income, and live life on your own terms. Your path to controlling your own destiny starts now.
Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. My name is Pete Gilfill, and I'm an entrepreneur, a nationally recognized franchise consultant, the international best-selling author of the book Hire Yourself, and a proud corporate escapee. My mission in life is to help senior-level executives explore the path of franchise ownership, or simply put, take control of their destiny, to live life on their terms, and to build wealth. Now, during the podcast, I always like to answer a question. And the question I want to answer today is that, there are more and more white-collar jobs disappearing. And that puts a lot of pressure on the remaining executives that are out there today. So if you're a senior level executive, understand that companies are downsizing, they're taking and reducing the number of managers. There's also consequences associated with that for the people that are hanging around, that are still the executives and want to be an executive. And we could debate whether being a corporate executive in today's world gives you that freedom. But let's go through some of the reasons as we talk about a business, specifically an executive, why we want to understand that as these jobs disappear, what it does. So number one is that there's just less career opportunities. And so you'll see this now as the management layers are being reduced. They're, for lack of better terms, flattening out organizations. The market is becoming more saturated, or simply put, it's harder to find jobs. And that leads to the second one. There's just more competition. So when we're trying to find another position, there's a flood of applicants. We see a lot of this, especially with technology executives, healthcare executives. There's a flood of competition for specific jobs where recruiters aren't even returning people's phone calls. I mean, it's that intense. Also, as they reduce the number of jobs, executive positions out there, there's lower compensation. They just, by the nature of it, senior executives are getting kind of pushed into positions that maybe are making less money. We'll call it basically they're in a position of underemployed, I guess would be the best term for it. And then there's more stress associated with it as jobs go away and the few executives that remain. It's more stressful, your workload from the standpoint. Maybe you're doing what two people used to do in your position. The idea behind it is that we are kind of under a lot of specific pressure around that. And then as we look at developing, one of the things I liked in the corporate world is that you can continue to develop and move up. And there's just less opportunities to move up in the organization, or upward movement, or mentorship. I like Ford because those great executives help me develop my skill. And as we have less managers around, or less executives, bottom line is that there's just less opportunities for people to be mentored. And that's a big part of learning or growing as an individual. And then certainly as we talk about these remaining positions, there is impact with AI. AI is, by the nature of it, consolidating positions. It is evolving. It is taking now, instead of needing 3 writers, maybe you only need 1 writer to do the prompts and then edit the results from the AI. So bottom line is it can do that. And then there is just less progression as we have less executive positions. When I get into a company and the organization is flattened or there's less positions, bottom line is that there's just less upward movement or the opportunity to continue to progress. And then there is more of a shift of this individual contributor kind of side of it. People are saying, listen, I'm done with this pressure of being a manager plus all the workload and stuff like that. So I just want to be an individual contributor. And then certainly there is just more and more pressure, demands on executives that are still there in terms of getting results and immediate results. I was just talking to somebody, they were a manager in a food company. They do research on food. And they said, there's so much pressure to get stuff through testing that sometimes it's done in a way in which is not good. And so there's a lot of pressure out there to get results. There's no more patience in regards to building something, getting it done. Everybody wants something done quicker, faster. Bottom line is that there's just less autonomy out there and less control. When there are less positions, there's less opportunities, you have less control. So, as we think about the remaining executive positions out there, it's just getting tougher. So as positions are eliminated, for the people that are still standing, there is a lot of pressure. There isn't a lot of upward mobility, not a lot of mentoring. And so that's why I work with executives all the time that say, listen, Pete, I want to start putting a plan in place that I can take control of my destiny. Maybe I keep my corporate job for a period of time and I start a business on the side where I can create a secondary income. I can build a bridge to escape the corporate world so I can get out of all this craziness. So if you're ever in a position where you are one of the executives that's still around and you're seeing a lot of this pressure that I've just talked about, I'm here for you. I encourage you to go to hireyourself.com, schedule time with me. We'll talk a little bit about your situation. But at the end of the day, there are less executive positions, and the people that are in these executive positions are under a lot of pressure. So why not take control of your destiny, live life on your terms, and certainly build wealth?
Thanks for joining us on the Hire Yourself podcast. Pete's here to help you break free from the corporate rat race, take control of your destiny, and finally live life on your own terms. Whether that's jumping into franchise ownership full-time or starting it as a side hustle. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a fellow frustrated executive, and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Ready to start building your bridge to freedom? Visit hireyourself.com for resources, insights, and a clear path forward. Until next time, take charge, build your future, and live life on your own terms.